Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 2019 third-person coverage of Kerr Park in Downingtown Disc Golf Course. I'm your host, Joe Pizolato, and this is the disc golf review that nobody really asked for. Today we'll be reviewing myself, Joe Pizolato, in Kerr Park as he takes on the world. One man, 18 holes. We'll see if he sucks or if he doesn't. So let's get right into it. We're going to take a preview of the entire course. Kerr Park, 18 holes, spread oddly from one end to the other of the park. It doesn't loop around like all the other parks do. That would make too much sense. Only a couple hazards, a couple holes up against a creek, and two going over one a small stream that has claimed a couple discs, and one large stream that has claimed multiple discs over the course of time. Let's head down to hole one and start this course off. Hole 1, 354 feet, a par 3, down where those group of 3 people are playing. That is where the hole is headed. We see our challenger approaching the tee pad here, lining up his Leopard 3, which is a nice driver. He's going to try and head down range and maybe hook it up close to it. Going for a forehand, and that needs to go the complete opposite direction of what it is doing right now. That's just bad. He's going to have to lay up here. This is a par 3, though, so he does still have a shot to save par. Taking his putter. Nice toss. A little wobbly off the hand and to the left, but that looks like it'll be in range for a putt. Scooping up the leaves, making sure there's nothing under there. Lining up his putt, blowing the hand. It is cold. It was 40 degrees out. Or below, quite chilly. And in the basket, staying even at hole 1. Hole 2, 291 feet, par 3. Current score is even down to that basket right down there. A little bit of a curve, having to go around the trees there. Follow the open path. Again, going for a forehand. This looks like it's on target this time. That needs to curve, and it does. A little short, but it's there nonetheless. Looks like he's going to go for it here. Try and make it in about 60 to 70 foot putt. It's going to be a tough one. And that's way off. That just sucks. But he's still going to be able to get in for a par 3 here. That's relatively close. And he's in for +0. Still even. Hole 3, 216 feet. Holes right through the trees there, that little yellow strip there. Again, a par 3. Everything on this course is a par 3. We are still even right now. There's a bit of a path here. Have to go to the left, or you'll see what I'm going to do. Well, he is going to do. Chop right through the trees. Like that. Maybe not the smartest decision, but if you put enough oomph on it, it'll get through like you see here. Lining up a mid-range, I'll just take the par 3 on this hole, or he will just take the par 3 of this hole. Scoop it up, and that lines right up underneath the basket. And this will be a dramatic putt-in for 3. Nice. Hole 4, 220 feet, still in the woods, par 3, straight shot down there. Nice little tunnel there of trees. Try to avoid those 2 guardian trees right there. We are again hitting up the Leopard 3 here. Nice driver. Try and get it to fly straight, and try not to hit the trees. Forehand, it's flying, and it gets chopped off of a tree. Out of the leaves here, and looks like he's having trouble with the thorn bush. And it's still there. Great. Try and lay up this, recover a bit. It's floating. Now that needs to come back in, and that is way long behind a tree. That's about 30 feet out, maybe 40. It's going to be a tough one. Trying to duck underneath the branches here. Still cold hands. But he recovers. Imagine that. Still even, par 3. Hole 5, par 3, 202 feet. Down the straightaway there. Another straight shot, but a lot of trees in between. Another forehand. Probably against his best judgment, because that is exactly what's going to happen. It's going to curve right and put you way out of the way. So now he's a good 100+ feet out. No chance of a shot. Got to recover here. And he's going to skip right up next to the basket and try for a putt. It's in yet again for 3. Hole 6, 254 feet, par 3. A little bit of a hook here, kind of like a reversed C, because I'm really stretched out. Head down to that basket down there. I think what he's going for is just to get around that C first, and then lay up a shot from there and just take the 3. Mid-range, sliding up. And that's going to be a good-sized putt for the recovery 3. In yet again for 3. Still sitting even. Dramatic. Hole 7, 183 feet, par 3. Down a bit of a right-sided C, so the opposite of what we just saw. Thick coverage in the middle. Try and follow that path down. And try and hook it. This is where a forehand would be good. Let's see what he does. Nice chuck. And that's going to curve perfectly with the path. It looks like, yep, and it's sitting down right behind the basket. This is an opportunity for him to go under par here. If he can make this in 2, he will be 1 under the total par for the course. Big moment. And he's in, 1 under. Amazing. This is a good start. Bit of excitement from that young lad there. Now we're going to make it out of the woods and back out into the open for the rest of the course, actually. A little unbalanced here at Downingtown. But hole 8, 346 feet, one of the longer ones on the course. Everything here is a par 3, and we're actually 1 under right now. I'm going to try again for the forehand, take that outside line and curve back. And that's actually to the left. And so far left, the camera guy didn't even catch it. Got hit by a tree. You can try a flex line here. That tree's right in the way. So you can try and make an S shape. That needs to flip back over, and it doesn't until it's super far away. Now he's 40 feet out for a putt to try and save the par. And another horrendous chuck of an attempt. Just totally sucking. This is for a bogey here. And he makes it in. But at least he got that that birdie, so now he is even himself out. Hole 9, 353 feet, par 3. Back to even. Another long hole here, straight shot. And try again for the forehand. A very forehand-heavy player. And that looks like it's up in the trees a bit. Not the greatest. And that's going to get chopped down by the trees there. Sit just outside the entrance. Opting for a low shot here, trying to scoot up next to or underneath the basket. And this will be a long putt for par. And it's in. Nice and even yet again. And that is going to conclude our front 9 for Downingtown Kerr Park. Let's take a look at our score sheet here. Everything again is a par 3, 1 birdie, 1 bogey, still sitting at an even 27 for the course. Also, take a word from our sponsors, Random Thoughts with Adam Rudisil, Braden Amel, and myself. You can listen on Spotify, Speaker, Anchor, and Radio Public. It's a fun one, basically. You don't like listening to regular podcasts, this is a podcast for you. We just sit and talk about everything but what you think we're going to talk about. It's pretty entertaining. Go check it out. It's free on all the platforms. And back in hole 10, 269 feet, par 3, still even. This is one that is over a tiny creek there, as you can see by the bridge. Up to another tee here. Another forehand, try and get it through that gap. And it is hooking right. Very far right. That is not good, but still in a good distance. He can just lay up underneath the basket and recover for a nice even par. Oh, I guess he tried to go for it. Wow, how smart of him. And now he's still close. This could be an easy putt, but worth the try if he can make it and save the par. It's a pretty easy putt. Wow. And he's in for, once again, a bogey. So he's back up to +1 total. Hole 11, 330 feet. Sitting at 1 over the total par for the course. Straight shot. And a misrelease, it looks like, on the backhand, because that just went up and floated. Not great. This was a great opportunity to get back to even, but looks like he's going to have to take another par on this one if he cannot screw up like he did on the last hole. Nice forehand. And that was actually really close to getting in the basket there. Just sitting to the right. This should be an easy putt. And it is. Still at +1 for total par. Not great. Not terrible. Hole 12, 329 feet. Trees in the middle there. Looks like you're going to have to go around the outside. Or you can try and hack through the trees. But best bet here, it looks like he's going to go around the trees. And that is chopping right down the other side of the trees there. Still a bit of tree coverage left. He's going to have to lay up. Go for another par here. Staying pretty consistent. Hook around the trees, and that's going to skip up just a bit long of the hole, but again, should be an easy putt to save par here. What a disappointment. You hate to see it. You really do. Especially since it's me. You may have a smile, but I know on the inside he is dying. Onto the bridge, onto the other side of the park. What hole is this? I don't even know what hole this is. I'm just so mad at this point. 2 over the total par. Hole 13, 290 feet. Got the creek on the right. I had a friend lose a disc to this hole. You know who you are. The path is actually OB, so a bold move going over the OB and just barely landing back in bounds. Watch the creek. All right, so he's opting to take the chicken route. Nice curve, missed the water. Try and take a par here. What a disappointment he is to disc golf itself. Just having a bad day. At this point, he's 3 over par. Not great, not terrible. This one's over the creek here. Hole 14. It's a scary one, let me tell you. I'm shaking in my boots at this point. A lot of people lose discs on this hole just because of a bad throw. But he's sending it up and over. And that's going to lay down right there. Good distance from the hole. Not in putt range. Slow, dramatic walk over the bridge. It's in kind of putt range, but not my putt range or his putt range. As you can see by that wonderful throw. Just out of my putt range. Wonderful being sarcastic. And that's in for 3. Hole 15, 283 feet. Still 3 over par. If there's any time to get back on the even side, this is the time to do so. We'll see what happens. Just another disappointment at this point. Ooh, sending it through the gap there. That's a pretty throw. And he's not happy. Because that's a wobbly distance out. Really needs to work on his long distance putting, as you can see by his wobbles. Looks like he's back into the correct putting. Hole 16, 366 feet, par 3, still 3 over. Looks like he's recovering on his putting a bit. I know I would be upset about those other 3 holes taken 3 over. Long distance drive here, and that's how a backhand should look, unlike a hole previous. Gonna lay up here underneath with the mid-range, and that's gonna curve right underneath the basket. Another dramatic putt in. He's even once again. Hole 17 coming out of the little woodland patch there up next to the house. Well, not the house. I guess that's a cement building. Hard to tell the difference. You can see it right in the middle of the screen there. Everything's a par 3, so again, it's going to be a par 3. Just opting to take a little hop out of the woods there, because that's a lot of coverage you got to get around. Trying to play safe, not gain any more strokes. Lay up right underneath the basket like he should have done on all the other holes. And another dramatic putt in for even. Look at that form, ladies and gentlemen. Hole 18, final hole, 366 feet. Another straight shot coming out of the side of the building there. Main goal here, just don't gain any strokes. And that is going to probably gain some strokes, because that just sucked. Opportunity to lay up here. Save par. And this is going to be a tester putt here, just because of the way he's been putting the rest. But he looks like he's going to hot dog it here. Great decision. It works. Luckily. Let's look at our scorecard here. Par 3 for everything. He ended up 3 over par. 4 bogeys, 1 birdie. Not a bad turnout for today. Even is definitely within reach for this young lad, possibly in the future. That concludes our coverage of Kerr Park's Downingtown Disc Golf Course. If you want to see more of this, or you don't, let me know down in the comments. A quick thank you to our unofficial sponsors of those scorecards produced by UDisc, a free app for disc golfers. It's pretty cool. Unofficial sponsor. Go check it out. Also like to thank our other unofficial sponsor, Random Thoughts, my own podcast. Go check it out on Spotify, Beaker, Anchor, and Radio Public. Thank you for listening and watching. See you around.